Hi everyone, Mike here again. Welcome back. I just wanted to do a short video to explain about the upcoming modules and to talk a little bit more about the class, and to say I'll also be doing a short video about grading and how I expect to grade. You can find all of this stuff, of course, on the Cobra page. So let me say that first of all, that Module 2 and Module 3 will both be on the same topic. The topic will be consequentialism, which we'll learn what that is soon enough. And this topic is a bit too large to do in one module without undue amount of work. So I'm going to split it up into two modules. But before I move on and explain what these next two modules will be about, I wanted to just briefly talk a little bit about the last module. Now, I mentioned in the module itself that this was an odd way to start an ethics class. The reason I tried to start the ethics class by getting us to look at ourselves and how faulty our reasoning can be is so that we have a little more empathy when we start. By empathy, I mean feeling for other people's ideas and other people's problems. So if you remember, in the Prezi, we had the invisible gorilla. Now, the gorilla is not meant to do anything except to get us to question. Just like the hair commercial is meant to get us to question. What we're trying to do is not begin an ethics class by thinking we know every single answer, but rather to begin the ethics class with a little bit of empathy, a little maybe even sympathy for others. And so that when we start dealing with more difficult issues, like we're going to start doing in the consequentialism modules, we'll be able to have a little bit more understanding of where other people are coming from before we start. So with those in mind, let's talk a little bit about modules 2 and 3, which we're going to be on consequentialism. Now, consequentialism, as you might guess from the word, is about the consequences of your actions. Your intentions, your meaning, what you hope to accomplish are way less important for consequentialism than what actually happens. What are the ends of the act? The way it tends to work is it tries to balance pleasure and pain. It tries to balance happiness and unhappiness. And the way it usually works is it values the happiness of a larger group much more than it will the happiness of a single small group or a single person. So we're going to have two practical exercises, one for each one of these consequentialism modules. In the first week, I want you to become the online ethicist. Since this is an online class, it only seems right that we should start with some kind of online ethics. Recently, there have been all types of issues with video, with YouTube, with all types of how people share horrific images of beheadings, what people should do with videos made before and after the shooting in Ferguson, Missouri, and things like that. And so I have an article for you to read. Now I want you to read the article, and I want you to pause and think about it. Think about the consequences. Try to weigh out the two sides of the argument. Try to weigh out people's needs, people's desires, and also try to weigh out their rights, keeping in mind consequentialism, where the needs of the many and the happiness of the many far outweighs the needs of the one. Okay, so that's what I'm going to have you do for the first module. The beginning of the second module, there'll be a YouTube video from Peter Singer, who is one of the top living ethicists. He's a contemporary utilitarian, and he has some very challenging ideas about charity and how rich nations should deal with poor nations. And there's, as I said, a TED video and an article. All these things will be linked on the Cobra webpage. And of course, I will post all of these assignments in detail on the webpage. I'm also going to ask you some questions about that and about how the course is working for you in the first week or two. Please try to get to those polling items right away, because it'll help me improve and refine the class to make it better. So that's what we have coming up for the next 2 weeks, the next two modules, consequentialism. Make sure you take the poll, don't forget that, and make sure to think like an ethicist when you're answering all those questions. I want you to become the ethicist. The details will be posted on COPE. Have a good week.